Welcome back, everybody, to episode 11 of the Harrison Brinker Show. I hope you're excited. It's going to be a good one, I promise you. But before we get into the show, I always want to ask you guys, if you guys watched the news, did you see this? Sabrina Carpenter recently posed for Kim Kardashian's underwear line, Skims. Well, Sabrina Carpenter is best friends with Taylor Swift, but Taylor Swift and Kim Kardashian kind of have a rocky relationship, so a lot of people were asking, hey Sabrina, did you talk to Taylor before you modeled for Kim Kardashian? She made it very clear, yes, I talked to Taylor, we're best friends, and she's okay with it. She gave me the green light. Well, funny enough, Sabrina, you didn't ask me what I thought. Please, next time Sabrina Carpenter does a lewd photo shoot, send it over to me, please. All right. Well, this one's going to be a good one. I quit my job at FedEx, so I talk about that. Then I break down the 10 women that I could beat up if I had to. I want to make that clear. Then I complain about how I don't like people clapping during live music. It kind of ruins it for me. Then Colin joins, and we talk about things in the science community and just everyday life that don't make sense to us, but it quickly devolves into us explaining the absurdity of dogs being police officers. So if you think that's crazy, stick around. You're going to like this one.
Hello. Welcome back to episode 11, I think. I don't know. It's in the title. So if I said that wrong, then don't shoot me. I'm very busy. And since I'm so busy, I have two jobs. I work 56 hours a week, or I worked 56 hours last week, 55 the week before that. I'm getting very burned out. I don't have any time to come home and film episodes the way I did months ago. So I'm quitting my job. I wrote my 2 weeks notice yesterday. You can see it here. You don't have to read it, but I've got my signature at the bottom there, which is what I wanted to talk about. I printed out like 6 of these because I would print it out and sign it, and I'm like, that signature's not good enough. And I would do it again. That's not good enough. It took me 6 tries to get that signature right. I'm very particular about my signature. I don't know why, but since like 9th grade, I've just constantly, in all my school notes, I've just been writing my name, signing my name, just practicing. And I think I've got it down pretty good. I picked up my pen like I was going to try it now, but hold your horses, Harrison. You're doing a show. I think the reason that I like signing my name, I don't know, I want it to look nice, but bear with me for a second, follow me here. I was very obsessed with Nirvana, like senior year of high school, and I would go on eBay and look up like Kurt Cobain merch, Kurt Cobain's shirt from Smells Like Teen Spirit, his cardigan from Nirvana Unplugged. And people would sell like these Kurt Cobain autographs, and this has nothing to do with Kurt Cobain, but it inspired me to think about what I'm about to tell you. If I were to get anyone's signature, I don't understand buying a picture on eBay that has Kurt Cobain's autograph. Like, that's weird to me to not have gotten it yourself, but buy it from someone else and like hang it up. Like, I don't really get signatures from celebrities often, but if I ever have, it's been me giving them a thing to sign while they're in front of me, and then they sign it and give it back. So I'm like, okay, here's a representation of that time I was there next to this celebrity, and to prove it, he even signed my hat. I had this Adidas hat that I used to wear a lot, this blue Adidas hat, and I was at Steelers training camp, Pittsburgh Steelers training camp it's usually in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Shout out Latrobe, shout out Cole Fiore. But for 1 year, it was actually at the time, Heinz Stadium. And Antonio Brown was still on the team. And I was like right at the front while he was coming by and saying goodbye to everybody. And he was signing stuff, and I didn't have anything for him to sign. I didn't have a football. I didn't have a paper towel. So I just gave him my hat because I was like, well, I need to get a signature since he's here. I might as well. And I gave him my favorite hat. He scribbled on it. Oh, hat's useless. What am I going to resell it? He's the most hated man on Twitter. He's got CTE, unfortunately. So celebrity autographs are kind of silly to me. My point, I haven't gotten to the exciting part yet. If I were to buy a celebrity autograph from eBay, since I've already established I don't want it to be on like a picture, it would be cool to get like Kurt Cobain's high school science notebook and see all of his equations written down and then like a Kurt Cobain signature. I thought that would be a cool idea. So since high school, I've been taking notes, history notes, civics notes, physics, civics, and signing my notebooks, because one day, years and years from now, if I'm ever a F-list celebrity, if I ever have any sort of notoriety on YouTube or the internet or comedy or whatever, it would be cool for if someone was like my biggest fan, Harrison Brinker, I love Harrison Brinker. Well, guess what? You're in luck. I have pages and pages of notes with my autograph on them, my signature. And if you want them, Venmo me 25 cents. I'll give it to you. Get in while the getting's good, because years and years from now, when I am famous, those will be worth a lot of money. But yeah, I kind of thought that was like I always thought that was kind of fun. I don't know what my point is, other than my 2 weeks notice if you want a copy of that, or I'll sign it for you, I guess. It's got my signature at the bottom. But yeah, I think celebrity photographs autographed are stupid if you weren't there yourself to get them. But notes, their actual handwriting, their actual shopping lists, that would be kind of cool. Even if it wasn't signed, if I had Kurt Cobain's grocery list, that'd be kind of cool. Of course, I wasn't going to be there when he did it, but if I found that on eBay, that'd be kind of cool to have. So that's what these are. That's why all my notes here are just at the bottom. I just sign them. I don't know why. It's just a habit at this point. But it's like, if anyone ever wants this legal pad, here's what I actually wrote down. You can have all these notes for the show today. Oh, the camera here's a little tough to see. That's why with the green screen thing, when I flip this around, it's like all glitchy. Eventually, I want to get rid of this green screen. Just keep that in mind. The show's going to improve as time goes on. I'm going to get a new camera. I'm going to get a new audio mixer and all that. I talked about that already last week. I also talked about this a couple episodes ago. I didn't want to go see Deadpool 3. Well, I did go see it. I was invited by my roommates, and I didn't want to turn them down. So I went out for something to do. I saw Deadpool 3, and it was exactly what I thought it would be. It was like, okay, this is fine. I don't hate the movie, but it's not really my thing. I think, don't worry, there's no spoilers or anything. I give it a 70%. I think the whole cinematic universe thing, like Marvel's whole idea of just connecting every single movie that's ever come out, has really hurt movies. And like I've said before, I think I finally figured it out. I've said before, like a movie like Dumb and Dumber, like I just want a shitty movie like that. I want a movie like School of Rock where it just has nothing to do with anything and you just watch it for an hour and a half and that's it. That's how movies were. Kangaroo Jack is like that. Pee-wee's Big Adventure is like that. Batman from 1966 is like that. It doesn't have to be connected to this entire universe for you to get it or to be able to enjoy it. But then you have a movie like Deadpool where, yeah, I don't know much about Marvel, but I still enjoyed it. But if you really want to enjoy it and understand what's going on, you have to watch Loki, and you have to watch WandaVision, and you have to watch every single thing that Disney's ever come out of, or the Marvel universe has ever released in order to understand it. And I think that's hurting movies, and I think people are so into Marvel that it's tough to talk about that because it's like, no, Marvel has it figured out. I'm like, yeah, I guess, because you're so deep into it, you don't want to hear that it's stupid, because if it's stupid, then you just wasted years of your life. But a movie like Deadpool would be fine on its own and establish its own weird rules of how multiverses work and all these timelines of different things. I don't know, like you could establish that in a movie like Deadpool without having to watch Iron Man to understand it. But Deadpool 3, since now Deadpool's like separated from Fox and has gone into the MCU, you're watching it under a microscope to make sure, like, don't do anything that'll screw up Loki, don't do anything that'll mess up Avengers, because if you do, this movie won't make sense. And it's like, forget about Loki and the Avengers, just watch Deadpool, it's fine. It says the F word a lot and a lot of sexual crude jokes, so I wouldn't watch it with my mother. And I talked about that, like, whatever that Deadpool 3 episode was, where it's like, I'm 23. I say the F word and sexual jokes with my friends, but I don't need to go to a movie to go, oh my God, that guy's supposed to be a superhero. Like, could you imagine if Batman talked about his wiener? Ha ha ha. Yeah, that's hilarious. But that's my theory about why movies are not fun anymore. You can't just watch them and forget about them, because a movie like anything in the MCU, you have to comprehend every single aspect of it if you really want to enjoy it. It's like, can't I just watch Dumb and Dumber?
Luckily, I mean, for me, I've watched it 600 times, so I know everything about it. But I just want a movie like that again, where it doesn't have to be connected. And you say, well, Harrison, what about a movie like American Fiction? That came out. I haven't watched it. That came out. The movie like The Holdovers. Haven't watched that either. Those are these movies on their own, and they got very, high ratings, critically acclaimed. I'm like, okay, yeah, I know they exist. But you know what I mean when I'm talking about this new era of movies where, like, everything's connected. And I don't like that. I want a TV show like Seinfeld where they had 25 episodes in a season and 10 of them can be bad. But now you have a show like The Bear where there's only 8 episodes in the season, so every single episode has to be extremely important. You have to know every single thing that happened in it to be able to understand the next episode. Why? Have you watched The Sopranos? 90% of The Sopranos is them just like sitting around eating dinner. Bring that back. And 10% of that episode is them like actually doing something that'll change the story. Good. I don't want to have to pay attention to every single second. And if you do, you're in for a treat. But if you don't, you'll still get it. Stop making me pay attention. Could you imagine reading a book where if you missed one word, you had to completely start over from the book from the beginning of the series? Like you get to book number 7 of Harry Potter and you forget one thing and you're like, great, I got to start over. Or this doesn't make sense. The amount of times I read a book and go through an entire page and go, oh my God, I've been reading it, but I've been looking at this. I haven't actually comprehended one single thing I've read. Now I got to start over. Everyone does that. Don't make movies like that where you have to understand every single thing that happened. Just make them fun. Time for my first segment.
Don't you have somewhere to be at 7:30?
7:30? Oh boy, I gotta go. I'll see you later, Bob.
All right, welcome back. For my first segment here, you can read the screen. It's 10 women that I could beat up. Not that I want to. I want to make that very clear right off the bat. This is not a threat. This is not any sort of hit list of like, here's the top 10 women that I want to. I don't want to. I don't want to do this. God forbid it ever comes to blows with any of these women. I just want to make it clear. This is more of like a factual list. Like, I could do it, but I'm not going to. Again, let me get that out of the way before the lawyers come at me. Obviously, all these women here are, they might be highly connected, and the last thing I need is a lawsuit. Yeah, just quit my job. But I've had these conversations at work, more blue-collar work, so it's always like big, tough guys, and I'm always surprised about what they say, because I'll bring up, in this age of feminism and sexism and just being any isms, being afraid to say anything. If I'm like, hey, men are generally stronger than women, and they go, I don't know if you can say that. I'm like, oh, I thought we were on the same page. I mean, if you want to go into like the wage gap or, if a woman should be president, let's have that conversation. But how are we not on the same page here that I could beat up a woman? So I want to make a not cognitive, what's the word? Whatever. A list of the women I could beat up. And there's probably plenty more that could go on this list, but I narrowed it down to 10. And like I said, it's not the top 10. That makes it sound like I want to go do this. So without any further ado, let's get into it here. One second. I'm going to have to play along with the mouse to show you. First up, we have Ariana Grande. You know her from Nickelodeon and then from painting herself brown and becoming a pop star. She licked all those donuts that time. I don't even want to say that because it makes it sound like I have a motive. But let's just be honest. I put her at the end of the list because this one's kind of like, okay, we're on the same page, right? Like, there's no question. She's real skinny. She killed Mac Miller, and she broke up with David Peterson for having butthole eyes. One second. So that's the 10th woman on my list, Ariana Grande. I don't even want to say look out. If I see you in the street, I'm going to say hello and get a photo with you. I'm not going to hurt you, but I could. Number 9 is YouTube sensation, now a fashionista, Ela Klein. She served in the IDF in Israel. So certainly if we were in a gunfight, she'd probably kill me. I have no experience with being a soldier. But this isn't a gunfight. This is more of like fisticuffs kind of situation. Like if I had boxing gloves on and she wanted to have a fair fight, it wouldn't be that fair. It'd be over really quick. And at least with that one, a lot of people might be upset at this list. I hope not. I hope it's clear what I'm doing. It's just facts. But at least I have the Palestinians on my side with that one. What do we got here? Number 8 is Margaret Thatcher. She was the prime minister, female prime minister, I think, in the 80s of Britain, over in England. A lot of people hate her, so I don't think that one should be too offensive either. I don't want to put age into this. This is just the first picture that I saw of her. Obviously, I could beat up a 90-year-old man. I could beat up a 90-year-old Mike Tyson. I don't think there's any question about that. But Margaret Thatcher is on my list of notable women that I could take down, grappling or wrestling or whatever. I don't really want to punch these women. And don't make it sound like I would go right for the face. I mean, you don't have to punch someone in the face to beat them up. Like, you could get her in the rib or even just like in the kidney, and it's fight over. So, and I'm sure, I mean, it should go without saying with all these women, they could get a couple good hits in on me. I just think I could take them. What was that? So number 7 now is Diane Waterford. She's my old high school lunch lady. She would always screw up my order, and well, again, I don't want to give a motive here. It makes it sound really bad. Let's not get into any backstories with any of this. But it's not this lady. She was really nice. She's kind of hot. I don't actually know that. It's this one right here. This is the lady that I could beat up. I mean, it's obvious I could take her down. This is I don't know where to point my finger. This is a little girl, so maybe I'll blur her face out or something. I don't want anything to do with that girl. But the Diane Waterford in the back, she used to be the crossing guard at the end of the day for when the buses went out and stuff. And anyway, that's a little backstory. But I could take her down. Not all these are going to be celebrities, by the way. So there's my old lunch lady. What number are we on? I honestly can't remember. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6. This is Sydney Sweeney. Don't worry, sugar. I would never in a million years, I can't say it enough, try to hurt you. I would never want to hurt you, Sydney. If I see you on the street, I mean, I might propose. You don't even know me. I would propose to you on the spot. The last thing I would do is hurt you. But I could. Number 5 is Erin Moriarty. She's that girl from The Boys that destroyed her face. I think she looks good, by the way. I'm not fooled thinking that she didn't get plastic surgery, but I think she looks all right. We'll see how she ages in 20 years. And that actually might be a benefit to her. Again, like I said, I wouldn't punch any of these women in the face, or I certainly wouldn't. That wouldn't be my first move. But she's got all like the fillers and all this stuff in. I mean, if anyone could take a punch to the face, it'd probably be her. And let's not kid ourselves here. She plays a superhero on TV, not in real life. So I don't expect any like lasers to come out of her eyeballs or anything. It'd be over pretty quick. Number 4 is Lisa Kudrow from Friends. Phoebe. She's done a lot of other stuff I don't remember because I haven't watched it. But again, the age has nothing to do with this. I could take her at any time. Prime, Phoebe, or even now. And what is she, like 60? I could take her down. But she seems very funny. She knows how to play the guitar, or at least she did on the show. So that's kind of cool. Maybe we'd bond over that. But if it came down to it, I don't think she'd stand a chance even after one round with me. Number 2 is number 3, sorry, I don't want to get ahead of myself here. Hillary Clinton. Again, I have no motives, but I feel like if I had a motive, this would be the only one. Like, she just scares me. I'd feel like this would be more out of self-defense. All of them would be out of self-defense if I ever got in a fight. I certainly wouldn't start one, but I have a feeling that out of these 10 women, Hillary would be the one to try to start something. She's very scary. I think she's killed people. She ran for president, so that's another thing I would have to worry about is like the Secret Service, you know, like what would really logistically happen if I went after her? I don't know. I don't know if I could fight all the Secret Service, but if we were in a room together and, you know, something happened where we had to fight, even if this is all consensual fighting, by the way. Let me make that very clear. We're both on the same page, me and all these women, of like, okay, let's see who can win. It's kind of a joke. It's more of a joke, really. I wouldn't attack any of these women, but Hillary Clinton, I'm scared of. And I think that would kind of help, is because I'm so scared of what she would do if she stayed, you know, in one piece. I would have to really take her on. Number 2 is Amy Schumer. I didn't know what picture to use of her because she's changed sizes so much throughout the years. Young Amy Schumer might put up more of a fight. She just seems more like into it. Sorry, I was going to cry there. I got really scared of girls fighting me. She just seems like she's more, you know, flexible, dynamic when she was young, and she would definitely come at me. She might beat me in a verbal war right? She's funny. She's quick. She could take me down emotionally, psychologically. But if I put on headphones and went to town, I really think I would come out on top. But number one here, number one woman I could beat up. That's right, Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey, don't be fooled that this is a woman in the UFC. This is her in a movie, and now she's in the WWE or whatever. I think she was on an episode of iCarly or Victorious or something. Don't be fooled by her celebrity and her, like, she got famous for fighting. She's a girl, guys. Let's cut the crap here. I could take her down. She might be more like, she knows all the ins and outs of, like, you know, how to take them down, grab them by the Achilles and scare them, but I really think if you gave me enough time, I could take her down. And that's where this all started. Every time you say something about, like, hey, I could beat up a girl. Oh, really? Could you beat up Ronda Rousey? That's everyone's first response. First of all, even if she could beat me up, it's weird that everyone's first response is the same one person. So there's 4.5 billion women on Earth, and you can name one that is your go-to of beating me up. For multiple people say, oh, Ronda Rousey. So that doesn't look good for women, by the way. You're actually being a sexist by only having one in mind that could kick my ass. And like I said, I don't even believe you. I think I could kick her ass. I've thought about it a lot. I know what I would do. I'm not going to share it because it makes it sound like I put any thought into this in terms of fighting her. And I haven't. I don't want to be arrested or whatever. But yes, I could kick Ronda Rousey's ass, and you could too, guys. Don't be scared of these people, of these women, of these, you know, guys that are feminists that are telling you, like, you better be careful who you mess with. She might take you down. Like I said, I never in a million years would go out of my way to hurt a woman. I love women. I came from a woman. I have a family full of women, multiple women. I would never hurt them in a million years. I'm just saying, factually, I could do this, but no, I don't want to. So there you go. Made a church version of the ketchup song. Gotta have ketchup on my fries, 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 gotta have ketchup on my fries. When I have fries, I gotta have lots of ketchup. You're all going to heaven now. I got one more for you. This is just a quick one, just a thing I hate. I just want to tell you something that really burns my crotch. Do you guys ever go to a live concert? You see your favorite artist live? That's great. That's fun. I've done it before. I really enjoyed it. But you know what I hate? And this isn't just any concert. This could be a high school talent show or anything like that. When people listening to the live music, the live performance, start clapping along to the beat. Can we please get rid of that? That's one of my least favorite things in the world, and I hope to God I'm not alone. It doesn't add anything. It actually distracts me from the music, because at least for me, the entire time, I'm just furious. Like, can I just listen to the song? You know, there's the reason that you don't hear the clapping in the background on the radio is because it wasn't good enough to include that in the actual processed performance, the actually produced album version of the song. You don't hear someone clapping. You have a drummer. There's a drummer on stage that's practiced for years and years to get this song right, to get the tempo down, and you're just going, hey, don't worry, I'll help out. You ever go to a comedy show and there's a heckler in the crowd that's yelling out the punchlines before the comedian gets to say it? It ruins the show. There's no difference in my head to that, to people clapping along. You're ruining the performance, and I don't need any help. Like, the last thing on my mind when I listen to a Portugal the Man song is this in 3/4 or 4/4? I don't need you to remind me, hey, by the way, here's the tempo. Everybody join in. Please, can we cut it out? I can't be alone here. I'm paying good money for a ticket, so if I'm there at a show, I'm not going to leave if it happens. I mean, I'm cheap, but I'm going to be furious the entire time, and you're not helping. You're really actually hurting the show, and I paid good money to see this, so can we stop? And high school talent shows, the exact same thing. Like I said, you don't need to be, these guys don't even know how to play the bass yet. The drummer up there is basically got a hand tied behind his back because he's so crappy, and you're just like, hey, don't worry, I'll help. Stop it. All right? We get the idea. Okay? We don't need you to clap along. So please, can we get rid of that? When I'm president, if you vote me in another couple of years, that's the first thing on my to-do list, is getting rid of that. We're banning that. You thought Trump was bad? Wait till you find out about me, all right? I'm getting rid of everything. No more automatic syncs. No more clocks where the second hand doesn't line up with the number. Every clock has to line up exactly with the line, or the clock's getting sent back, all right? We're not doing that anymore. Automatic syncs, I'll tell you when I'm done washing my hands. I don't need you to go, oh, I'm washing. I got shit all over my hands. I'm going to really need to clean it. And I put soap on it and put them under there, and then it just stops. I'm like, I'll tell you when I'm done, all right? What are we stopping this for? Because you think I'm going to home alone you and clog the sink and leave the faucet on? That's not going to happen. And if it does, that guy should be arrested at the very least, okay? So can we all just start trusting each other? We used to have paper towel holders where it was just a piece of cloth and everyone shared a paper towel. But now we've gotten to the point where you can't even touch the sink anymore. You have to wait for the sink to tell you when you're done. And guess what? I'm not done. But I'm done with this. I'm done with clapping at shows, all right? Anyway, Colin Blair, everybody. Enjoy Colin Blair.
Hello? Hello, honey. Hey, Joseph, it's Colin.
Welcome, everybody. I don't know what episode this is, but Colin Blair, again, is joining us for this week. Welcome, Colin. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Good to be back.
I think it was last week's episode. I had ended it with like my segment talking about how gravity doesn't make any sense to me and atoms are too small to care about. And it got you and I thinking, I guess, inspired to come up with some more things that just don't really make any sense to us. So I told you to go out and come up with some. I didn't want to hear what you said yet. I wanted to keep it a surprise. But if you want to get right into it, let's hear what doesn't make any sense to Colin Blair.
So this one, it was sort of inspired by what you were talking about. It's not really a concept, but so sometimes you hear, or I'm sure you have, like people say, technically, if you smack your hand on this table, like there's a chance your hand will just go all the way through because the electrons, blah, 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 they can do this. I'm just thinking like, well, guess what? That's never going to happen. It never has happened, and it never will happen. It's not happening now, so who cares?
Yeah.
So I guess my general point is like things, like when people say, technically this could happen.
Right.
But
if all the
guess
stars
what?
align,
that's not going to happen, so I don't care. Yeah. So yeah, that's inspired by what you were talking about. I'm like, yeah, that's cool if the electrons can technically do that, but yeah, that's not going to happen. So what do I care then?
Yeah, it's not worth having any. It's using up any of my hard drive space in my brain to even consider that a possibility.
Exactly.
Like that. That's not going to happen. Yeah, like, did you know you have more likely of a chance of getting hit by a flying toilet seat than a lightning strike? It's like, yeah, right. But neither. I know you know that it's negligible, but let's not even bring that up. I'm not going to be walking down and getting hit with a toilet seat anytime soon. Okay.
Yeah.
And lightning strikes don't happen.
Because like in statistics, they do like these. Yeah, in statistics, there's like this. They do like p-value, whatever. Like you to get like probability and stuff. And yeah, like when I was taking that class the whole time, I'm thinking like, whatever. I guess you can technically calculate this, but who cares? I just don't care. I don't care about calculating probability for things that won't happen. Who cares?
Yeah, like if it was like the probability of a sword swallower getting choked by a sword, like okay. But if you're going to talk about me choking on a sword, like right, I'm sure there's statistics you could analyze everything I've done in my life to how one day I might die swallowing a sword, but you can save some time here, and I just won't do that. That won't happen. This one, the one I have, I kind of burned all my ideas on the last one because gravity. I do agree, like. As crazy as I know it sounds, the last part of the show talking about gravity and atoms, so basically what you're saying, where it's like, yeah, I get this is a thing, but I'm not going to ever spend any time focusing on it, like thinking about atoms. And did you know there's actually protons that spin around? And I'm just like, okay, yeah. It's like thinking about when they're like, oh, did you know if you look at an eyelash under a microscope, there's millions of little bugs in there? And I'm just like, all right, yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are. I don't care. The same way people don't go about their day, I guess is my point. Like, even though there are bugs on you all the time, no one's taking up any time of their day to worry about, like, is there a bug? Is my bug okay? It's like,
I know.
we all don't care. But for some reason, we have people devoting their entire lives to atoms.
Sorry.
Yeah, the microscopic bugs in dust or whatever. Yeah, that just never. I don't know. I don't care. Again, yeah. It's like, how does that affect me? It doesn't affect me.
Right.
It never will.
Right.
So what do I care about those microscopic whatever's
Yeah,
in
unless
there?
there's like a dog-sized bug. They're like, did you know you have a dog
Yeah.
on your head? I'd be like, oh, I do? That's embarrassing. But if it's a piece of dust, I'm like, okay. What, do you go to the beach too and count all the sand and just go like, did you know there's 47 quintillion of these? I'm like, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it's like
crack it
someone
in
says,
half with a hammer.
there's what? Yeah, there's bugs in the dust technically. Okay, what does that mean? Nothing, but they're there. Oh, okay, nice. Thanks for telling me. Don't care.
Yeah. That's how I feel about Game of Thrones. When they're like, did you know this show is incredible? I'm like, I'm never going to watch it. All right, you can, I don't care.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, they're short people and they talk about dragons. All right, you can keep that to yourself. Just kidding. I like short people. The first one I had here was juggling. So this isn't really a scientific, like, lack of explanation thing. I just don't get it. I've tried it. I took a gym class. You take 3 Kleenexes and you throw them in the air to try to learn. It's like, unless I can learn something in an hour, it's impossible. That's where I think at my age now, and I'm still young, but I'm as a 23-year-old even, I'm just like, if I can't learn it right away, that's it. So like piano, you could sit down, you don't have to know how to play Beethoven, but you can hit the key and play a song. So that's something I would do. But juggling, you have to be an expert to even start doing it.
yeah,
And that's stuff I don't like. I don't like that kind of thing.
yeah. But they sort of. I mean, in our gym class, they trying to teach us how to juggle once. Did you guys do that?
Yeah, I
In
did
your
that.
gym class in middle school?
They gave us
Oh,
like
yeah.
little feathers
the
to like
tissues?
throw in the air.
Yeah. But still,
Yeah.
I never got it.
No, I watch it. I'm mesmerized. I'm insanely jealous, and that's what the rest of this list is things I just can't do. That I'm like, I couldn't even wrap my head around how to do that. Like, I'll watch a guy juggle, and I'm like, he makes it look so easy. And then I try it. I wish I had 3 balls. You know, you get the idea. I can't juggle. Doesn't make any sense to me, and I'm never gonna try to learn it.
Yep.
Back to you, Colin. What do you got?
Well, this isn't something I can't do. Just more just something that annoys me. I see sometimes. So,
Nice.
like on Twitter or whatever, sometimes you'll see like there's accounts that say, "Hey, this is this shot from a movie in 4K," and then sometimes they'll do that, but it's like a cartoon or like a completely CGI shot. I'm like, okay, well, what do I care if it's a CGI cartoon in 4K?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, this is something very small, but this is something that really annoys me when I'm doing that. Like in a Marvel, whatever, like the new Spider-Man, like that whole thing is CGI. It's like this shot in 4K. Like, okay, well, it's a cartoon. So what do I care?
Right. You can make it whatever you want.
Yeah, I don't care if a cartoon is in high definition or whatever. Who cares?
Did you see that
yeah,
Family
that's
Guy
something
episode
small.
the other day? It looks so realistic.
Yeah, check this shot out of Peter Griffin in 4K. Like, oh, nice. That's a cartoon. Who cares if it's in 4K?
Well, I think I've
Yeah,
talked about
that's
this
small.
before. That reminds me, though, I didn't write this one down, but not to bag on Game of Thrones. I just said that earlier as a joke, but I was looking at something about Game of Thrones. There's something popped up on my Instagram saying in the House of the Dragon, it's the newest dragon is the largest one in the whole universe so far. And I'm like, so it's a draw. It's just an idea. It's some
fake.
guy's idea of like a big dragon. Like, oh well, if you give me a computer and let me edit Game of Thrones, I'll make you one. I'll drag it the corners of it in Photoshop
right.
and make it twice as big. Like, what do you want me to call Guinness Book of World Records and say, hey, we got the biggest dragon over here? Like, it's a drawing. It's a cartoon. Like you said, like,
Yes.
I don't care if it's a big dragon. Just think of a bigger one. There you go. It's like superhero
yeah, that
comics
type
when
of
they're
stuff.
like, Batman is the strongest. Batman and Superman are like strongest. Who would win? I'm like, oh, you mean the drawings of people? Like, you can just draw more weights on Batman's bench press, and now he's stronger
Yeah.
than he was a second ago. Like, it's very stupid to get caught up in that. But I still
Yeah,
like
that's
cartoons.
exactly. Yeah, you hit it right. You hit the nail on the head. That annoys me so much. That type of stuff. Those type of conversations. Like, yeah, these are cartoons. These aren't real. They're made up. Who cares?
Yeah, like I don't need them, like you said, in high definition to be able to, like, what am I supposed to go, oh my gosh, that's looks so real. Yeah, that's a funny one. This is just a skill, yet again, I can't do, so maybe we're going back and forth here. I might have forgotten what this list is supposed to be, but nonetheless, it's a complaint. I don't know how to whistle with my fingers. And yet again, it's just like, you see people do it, like, shh, no problem.
Yeah.
And it's just like juggling, where I'm like, unless I can just try to do that first try, I'm not gonna bother. Like I don't. That's not a skill I want to have to practice. I feel like a loser if I'm like, hey, you want to go to the bars later? I'm like, sorry, I have whistling practice in my room. I have to try to figure out how to do it with my fingers. Or I have like
I
Ace
can't do that
Ventura
either.
do it with his mouth. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I can't do that either. But sometimes, like on TikTok, it'll be a quick video like, this is how you do it. And then I'll try it one time, doesn't work. I'm like, I can't do it. I'll just keep going. But yeah, you're right. I just have no desire. Yeah. If I can't just do it, show me. If I can't do it exactly right when you show me how to do it, I'm just going to keep going. It's not worth it. It's not worth my time.
Well, on the drive here, like moving out to Utah, it's just like a 3-day drive, and that was the one thing I tried to learn. So, admittedly, every 1 in 25 tries, I could do it. Like, I have 18 more to go, or 23 more to go to try. Every once in a while, I could do it, but I can't do it enough to like. It's just a luck thing. That's how I feel like juggling. I'm like, I could go 2 seconds at juggle, but that's not juggling. That's not really whistling. But yeah, I was gonna say Ace Ventura. Or when I don't know why I thought of that, but like there's people that can do the loud whistle without even their fingers, like just their mouth.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm like, what is that? I wonder if people that
that
whistle
must
with
just
their
be a
fingers
natural
see that
talent.
and get confused. Yeah, that's insane. Maybe they just got lucky with like a tiny tooth cap or something, and they're just like, I can whistle. But yeah, I don't get it.
Maybe.
It's disturbing, and I think it's satanic.
But yeah, I mean, pretty similar. I can't burp on command. That's something I've always wanted to do.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
that's sort of like can you do that?
I mean, I just swallow air and then burp.
Yeah, but I can't do that. I can't do that at all.
I'm gonna throw up.
It's disgusting. But I wish like you realize how helpful that would be. Like maybe just because you can do it, you don't realize. But like when you're sick, sometimes you just need to burp, and I can't do it. So I think when you can't do it, that's when you really wish you could. If you get what I'm trying to say, like you can burp on command, so you don't really think about when you're sick. You can just burp, and that kind of helps.
Right.
But I can't, so it's so annoying. That's something I always wished I could do. But oh my god, yeah. I don't think you can practice that, or what?
Can you burp in general? I mean, you burp. Right?
Yeah, I mean, an accident, like if I'm drinking a pop or whatever, like some things will make me burp, but I just can't.
So it's not like you're just stuck in this. You're not stuck in like a purgatory of like needing to burp and never being able to. But it's not up to you when you burp. That's your point.
Yeah, it's not. Yes, it's not up to me, and I wish it could be up to me. Yeah.
So that's how I feel with juggling.
Yeah. Like my sisters can just burp the ABCs or whatever. Like, how do you do it? I cannot do that.
Yeah.
How come you guys got that gene and I didn't? Like,
like I said, like I just have to swallow air to do it, which I don't know if the people that burp on command do that. Like I don't know if they're constantly swallowing air, because I can't like do the ABCs, because by the time I get to R, I'll be like wanting to throw up. Like I said, like even after 2 of those, I'm like, all right, I feel gross.
Okay.
So if I do it 20 times, I'm like, that's enough. But yeah, that's how I feel with the that must be how people that can juggle feel, is like, oh, you don't know how to do this?
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Colin. Wait, do you have another one?
Or you can go. I did the burping thing. If you got one.
Oh yeah. Whoops. This one is just one that doesn't make any sense to me. The 3D, I think they're called stereoscopic pictures. It's like the illusions, like computer generated pictures that you have to like blur your vision or whatever to see, and then it's like dinosaurs or a kid flying a kite. There's that episode of Seinfeld where Mr. Pitt is just staring at it and he can't get it. That's me. My parents had one of those in our basement. I mean, my whole life we have this picture just hung up in our house that I've literally 23 years old have never been able to see it. And then my sister will walk by and go, oh yeah, it's dinosaurs. I'm like, it's dots. What are you talking about? What do I have to do? And now with TikTok,
I
there's
don't think I've
people
ever
that'll
seen one
post
of those.
them. Oh, really? Well, with TikTok now, people are posting them. So then I see the comments and everyone's trying to give their tricks of like, you have to like look through the picture. And then I'm like, I don't know what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? Because they're saying like, okay, look at something 10 feet away and then lock your vision and then put your phone in front of your face. And then that's what I mean by like focusing your eyes something through your phone. But I'm like, yeah, but I can't do that. As soon as I put my phone in front of it, my eyes just focus on the phone. Like, I don't even know how to surpass my eye muscles. Like, try to take. It's weird. It also, I think the things that bother me about this is it reminds you like, oh, you're not in control of your body. You know what I mean? Like you can't just you can't just burp on command. Like your body will tell you when you're ready to burp. Like I can't just focus my eyes on something and look at my phone. It's just like my eyes are like, who the hell's what are we, an autopilot here? Or like, let's get back in action here. I got to focus on this phone and I'm trying to tell it like, no, I'm looking at the wall. I don't know. It's very disturbing. But maybe that's what it comes down to.
I've never seen one of those paintings.
Like
now I want to go
life?
try one of those out. No, like, I've never tried one. Like, I've never come across one. Maybe I have. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
though.
now I need to Google one.
Well, yeah, see if you
I
have
know what
it
you're
in
talking
you.
about. Yeah, I know. Now I want to find out. And I'll
used to
see if I
have
can
it.
get angry with you.
I took that poster I had in my basement. Like my parents, I guess, realized they didn't want our house looking like a stupid house, so they took that framed photo of a dinosaur off the wall. But I took it and put it in my bedroom. So there was like 4 years throughout all of high school. It's just hanging in my room. This isn't like me saying, oh, I tried to juggle for an hour and couldn't do it. This stereoscopic picture, I've spent 23 years trying to see, and I've got no idea how to do it. It's 23 years. How much longer do I have to practice? And it's not like it's not a training thing. It's just one day you'll just get it. So it's not even like I have 23 years of practice. It's just like I'm just waiting for one day to finally crack it. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I feel like it's like if you just walked by, you'd accidentally do it right. Yeah, like if you're focusing too hard or whatever. But I was just gonna say it'd be funny if you hung it right in front of your bed, and every night when you just lay down to go to bed, you give it a look. No. One day I'll get it.
Yeah, there's just like tally marks carved into my wall with like a pocket knife.
Nope, another day, nothing.
Day 437, yeah. There's just diaries in my room. John Doe from 7 Diaries, like, I looked at the painting again today. I couldn't understand why everyone else is laughing. Do you know how to blur your eyes? Like, can you unfocus your vision?
Yeah, I can do that.
I do that a lot. And then I realize, like, oh, I'm supposed to be like reading something, and my eyes are completely unfocused. Sometimes I'll do that driving just to see how far I can go. I mean, not that you're completely blind, but I can't read it. So that's
isn't that what you have to do, or to get the?
That's what they say. They're like unfocus your vision, but you kind of have to mess with it even more. And like, I mean, I really don't know. I wish I knew what they were talking about. The closest thing I've gotten is people saying like, focus your eyes on something far away and then bring the picture in front of you. But I just can't do that. It's sad.
Interesting.
It's depressing.
Well, yeah, I'll test one out. I'll look one up or find one somewhere.
Well, if you do get it, don't tell me. I'm going to be mad. If you're like, oh yeah, first day, you're good.
Yeah, you can't do this. What do you mean? I see it perfectly.
Do you have any other ones?
I mean, it's not so much something I can't do. These are just things that annoy me. I guess this is more of the science route again. But if you remember, or I guess you weren't here, you moved away. But like there was a small period where like the northern lights were visible in PA here. But like I don't know if it was just here or what. But someone said like, yeah, you can go out and see them, but you can't see them, and you need to take a picture with your phone. And your phone is the only way it'll show. I'm thinking like, okay, so it's not actually there. That's what you're telling me. Like, well, it is there. You just got to take a picture with your phone because the way your phone captures the light is how you see it. I'm like, well, what do I care then? How is that any different than me going outside, Googling northern lights and saying, wow, we can see them from here? It's the same exact thing.
Yeah, like I'll just pull them up on my TV.
Yeah, I mean, that was something small. I'm like, well, who cares? I can't see it. I can't see it, so it's not
right.
There. That's just, as far as I'm concerned, we can't see them from here.
I can't remember who said it. I think it was just on Twitter, but I think it was possible to see them in Utah, but I just didn't know about it, and that was the problem. Like because it was right after like the solar eclipse or the lunar whatever eclipse that was, and like that was hyped up. Everyone on the internet was like, "You guys ready for the eclipse tonight?" And then it happened, and it was kind of like, "All right, great." But no one wanted to say, hey, this once-in-a-lifetime thing is happening tomorrow. Like, it wasn't until after it was already done with that everyone posted their pictures and was like, this was so beautiful. I'm so glad I saw this. I was going to kill myself, but this actually gave me a second wind in life. And I'm like, well, that would have been nice to know about. I don't care about the moon. Oh, the moon got dark. Oh, no. It gets dark every day when it goes down. Have you seen nighttime? It's dark. I want to see green lights. But I hadn't heard that before, that you had to see it with the phone. But I guess that's,
Yeah.
if that's true, that's fair. I've only seen pictures of it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, when someone told me that, I was like, wait, who cares? But yeah, yeah, that annoyed me. But that sort of goes in line with the electrons thing in the table. It's like, yeah, like technically you could see them. Technically your hand can go through the table. I'm like, yeah, cool. Don't care. I don't know.
No, yeah, I agree. I feel bad that yours are more science-based. I used up atoms of gravity, and then I just am like, yeah,
you
juggling, that's
you
my
inspired me so
scientific
much. Yeah, with the
Well,
atoms
yeah,
and
keep
stuff. Yeah.
Keep it coming if you got any more. The only other, this one isn't voodoo or science, but staplers. I don't really get how staplers work. Like so you get a rack of staples and they're all stuck together, but then the machine knows to only put out one at a time, and they're all so thin. I'm like, how does it know to only get one? So that's already something that confuses me. Like they're so tiny, but they break off. Like, and how do they just know how to break off? I mean, that's weird. But then you got the second step of the whole stapling thing of it hits the metal and then bends in. And I'm like, how does it know not to go the other way?
That is funny. You never really think about how a stapler actually works. It's like, yeah, it works, and this is what it does. But yeah, it is pretty insane how a stapler works perfectly.
Go take a staple and try to just break just one off the end. Like, it's impossible.
Yeah.
But someone made a $3 machine. I think another thing that I'm not annoyed by this, but like, how come staplers don't cost $4,000? You know? Like, it's just like a $3. You could just get a Dollar Tree stapler, and it just works like a stapler. And you're like, this cost a penny to make. This. If you gave me all the dirt and all the metal in the world and said make a stapler, it would take me $4 million in 60 years. But someone over there in China is just popping them out for pennies at a time, and they're just like, it works perfect. I don't get it.
I agree. We need to find the guy who invented the stapler and talk to him.
It was
see how he did
Marvin Staple. He was a communist, though. So that's something. I gotta quit saying that. Sorry. Now I don't know what the word is. Hungover. Anxiety. Well, because I'll just say that real quick. The other day on the phone with you, we were talking for like 2 hours, and I talked for like 20 minutes at a time, and just without thinking, every time I finished a story, I would just go, well, that's something. But now that I know I do it, I keep doing it. I don't know where that came from to say. I said it all at work, all over the weekend. Every time I said something, I would end it and just go, so that's something. And
so
I need to
something.
I don't know. I mean, it's funny. I mean, you said, like, it's funny to go on a 20-minute ramble and then end it with, like, I guess that's something.
So that's something.
And it is funny.
That could be your thing. I agree. It is funny. That should be your thing. Eventually, it'll be or you have a T-shirt. Just so that's something. That'll be your thing. That'll be your merch.
Well, I hope, because right now I'm sick of it. I'm like very self-conscious that I keep saying it, because I'm like, I don't know where that came from, and now I've said it 100 times.
I think it's funny. Keep doing it. Don't hold back on that. That's funny.
Yeah, go on for 2 hours, and you're like, I don't know if I need to say that. But yeah, staplers. I think that reminded me of. I think Joe List said this, or I know Joe List said it, but like, it's crazy that a cell phone doesn't cost like $30,000. Like, you literally have every single part of your life surrounding it, and it's $1,000, and then people are even like, it's $1,000. What a ripoff! And it's like, dude, you use this every day. Like, you could buy a $200 pair of jeans, and it's worth it because you'll wear them for the rest of your life. Like, you're gonna use this phone for literally everything, other than wearing them as pants. But I don't think it's crazy that phones cost as much as they do. It's literally every aspect of our life is. And not in a social media way, you're obsessed with Instagram. It's like you do all your banking, all your emails, everything is around this phone. So like $1,000 is actually a pretty good deal for something that's like unthinkable to have come up with 50 years ago.
I know, yeah, like a phone, like when you think about like the economics, like it seems like something where you could raise the price to whatever and people would still buy it. Yeah. So I agree. You never really think about that. Yeah, like it's essential. So
right.
Yeah, it's like the supply and demand thing. Like you could probably raise the price for a phone to whatever you wanted, and people would still buy it. Right. I agree with you. Yeah.
And I'm glad they don't do that, Because I don't. If I can
me
buy
too.
it for 1,000, I'll gladly take it for 1,000.
Yes, I like
that's-
it where it's at now.
Don't take any ideas here, Marvin Staples, thinking that you could start selling staplers for $30,000.
Yeah,
but no,
Harrison's right. Why are they only $3?
So this is just
go
a
do a
secret little
CFO.
podcast. I don't want Apple to hear this and go, oh, okay, we'll raise the prices. But it is just crazy that they do that. But I wonder if it'll get to a point like TVs, like when flat screens first came out, it was like $1,800 for a 30-inch flat screen, and now it's like you can go to Walmart and get the cheapest Walmart brand TV for like $250 for like a 40-inch flat screen. Like, that's absurd.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they'll get to a point where phones will do that. And I guess we are at a point. I mean, Apple will never do that. Sorry, I'm going against myself in the middle of this argument. I guess Apple would never do that, but I'm sure there's other phones that have come out. This has probably already happened, is my point. It's funny to sit here and say, we need a company to make cheaper phones. And it's like, well, all I buy is Apple. There's probably 30,000. I keep saying 30,000. There's probably 15 other big phone companies that are like, no, we sell phones better than the iPhone, and they're half the price. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I just made a whole episode about how that needs to exist, and it already does. And there's some idiot sitting up there like, oh, Harrison, I have a $30,000 stapler. I'm like, I was joking. Get out of here. But
Yeah, that's funny, the
that's
stapler
lesson I
thing.
wrote. Well, like that they don't work.
Yeah, just you bring
Or
that
how
up.
they
Now,
work,
now
so.
I picture Marvin Staple going to a CFO saying, "We should be charging more. Why have I never brought this up to you?"
Yeah, no, it's a good point, Marvin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was looking at them. I was using a big stapler at work yesterday, and I still, like, even with big, huge, like, industrial staples, like I said earlier, like, you couldn't break one off if you tried. Like, with these big ones, you could do that, but it still doesn't make any sense to me, even on a bigger scale, like, to see this machine work and have any comprehension of, like, how it knows what to do. Like, it's a big piece of metal that just pushes the staple, and then bends it, and it works perfect. It literally works perfect every time. And I'm like, wow, Marvin really did a heck of a job with that one.
One of the greater inventions ever, the stapler.
Yeah, the stapler. And it
I'm
like
convinced now.
this. I've heard other people say this before, so I don't want to steal it. But I think a more impressive example of that, but I won't go on too long because I stole it, is a sewing machine, where it's like a needle going up and down. Like, how does it know how to loop around and go through? How's that work?
Yeah, you're right.
Because I
these
can
machines
imagine,
we don't
like,
think about. It's like, how is this possible? How does this even work? How is it doing this?
yeah. No, I don't get it. I mean, I'm talking into a microphone and a laptop and a phone. Like, there's 15 things right around me that I have no idea, no comprehension of how they work. Like I said, like, even a stapler, if you gave me all the time in the world, I couldn't recreate. But I'm sitting here with LED panel lights, a green screen, like, even just a green screen software working is like, huh? What? Hey, Harrison, invent the green screen. No. Even like the Star Wars first using it when they printed on actual film, and the guy that figured out, like, if you just have a blue background, you can just cut it out. I'm like, how do you know that? How did you figure that out?
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't get it, and I don't like it at all. I'm actually going to stop using this stuff because I want to boycott the witches who invented this sort of thing. I guess that's what I said. The staple thing, like the idea of being on a desert island or a deserted island. Can an island be a desert? Sorry.
Good question.
Giving all the time
Who
in the
knows?
world to come up with this. Wait, what?
It's a good question. Can an island be a desert?
The idea, like, giving me all the time in the world to invent a stapler, I can't do it. And then you have these guys who invent a phone, or even like the first rendition of a phone, Alexander Graham Bell, whatever. He's just like, oh, you just get a wire and you get a microphone and it'll just go. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? How does these things work?
And you mean Antonio Viucci, as Tony Soprano would have yelled at you for saying Alexander Graham Bell. He got robbed, as he said.
Oh, I forgot about that. Antonio Viucci is a hero in this house. Do you have any more? I'm sure I could come up with something stupid, but I've got no more written down.
The last thing I had, Yeah, I guess this is something that didn't really make sense. On TikTok, I was scrolling through, and someone said, "This is what a bee's vision looks like." And it was just a bunch of nothing, like it was just a bunch of little dots or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, like, okay, how? I don't believe this for a single second. There's no
Right.
way you know what. I just don't understand how you can possibly know that. And I didn't
Yeah.
believe it because, like, if you look at the video I saw, it was literally nothing but random dots everywhere.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. When he lands on my hand, it seems like, I mean, it looks a lot more like, I don't know. The
No, he
point
knows what
is,
he's doing.
I don't buy it for a second that you know what a bee sees, what its sight looks like. And if
Yeah.
if you do know, how is that possible? How is it possible to know what like an animal's vision looks like or whatever?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was something.
No, that's inspiring because it is just like it makes me think of like cartoons and movies and whatnot where it's like a spider. It's like the POV of a spider. I don't know how many movies I've seen that have done that, but for example,
Yeah.
if you're from the perspective of a spider and it's got 8 like
Yeah.
TVs in front of it to show you what it's looking at. I don't know how to articulate
that
these
I
points
can
very
get
much.
behind. That makes sense to me.
But like even But even imagine being at a science conference and just saying like, you know how you see stuff and it's like a big TV. It's like, oh, you mean real life? But it's like, so spiders have like these 8 little boxes because they have 8 eyes. Like, there's no way that's actually how they see. That'd be like saying this is how a human sees, and it's 2 TVs, and it's just because we have 2 eyes,
Yeah.
you think it's 2 things. It's like, well, no, your brain knows to mix them together. I'm sure there's not spiders going everywhere like, what am I looking at? It probably just sees
I
one
don't know
thing.
which TV to look at.
I'm sure a spider just sees what we see, and maybe it's a little darker or brighter or whatever, but like there's no way it's just walking around with 8 TVs in front of it trying to figure out which way to go.
That's what I think. I think we all see the same things, and I don't care what the structure of their eyes are or whatever. I think
Yeah.
it all like you said, we don't see 2. It just comes together, and I think it's the same for animals.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
based
not
on
buying
nothing, by the
the-
way. I'm sure we're right,
Yeah,
though.
literally based on nothing. You just me. Yeah, no science behind this whatsoever. I don't care. Yeah, I don't buy for a second that a spider is just nothing but random dots floating everywhere or whatever. No,
Yeah.
he sees what I see. His brain puts
Right.
it together,
And I'll tell you
and
this,
I won't be
scientists,
told otherwise.
if we're wrong, like you said, I won't be told otherwise. If we're wrong about this, I couldn't care less what a bee sees. All right? Can we move on? Did you know this is
Yeah.
what a bee sees? This is the perspective of a horsefly. Oh, you mean a big pile of poop? I don't respect. Why would I care? You know, horseflies fly around a horse's ass all day? Oh, great. Let me take some advice from him. But yeah, I think people are tricked into thinking, because they see a horsefly and it's like this weird webbed eye. Or like, it looks like you got a screen on your eye. So they're just going, oh, it must look like what I would look like if I had a screen in front of my eye. It's like, no. I mean, what are you talking about? So that's stupid.
Yeah.
Good, excellent point. Yeah, that makes me mad.
Thank you.
And if I'm wrong, I couldn't care less what a spider's perspective looks like. That's not going to change my opinion on the animal that flies around poop all day.
Yeah, that's an important point. If someone said, no, actually, it's been proven, that's what it looks like. Nice. Don't care. I'll move on.
Oh, whoop-de-doo, everybody.
Good-
Stop the
good for
presses.
you, buddy.
Did you hear the news? This is what a spider's eye looks like. Thanks. Start really pressing matters. Yeah, what other animals are like that? Even, well, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's something. But I guess they have to know some way to figure this stuff out. Because, like, how do they know, like, dogs have a strong sense of smell? Like, do we actually know how strong that smell is? Or do we just know it's strong? You know what I mean?
Just
like,
because who knows?
like they
Just
they
because they're
can
sniffing
do
all
like
the time. We're just assuming.
But there's like drug sniffing dogs or bomb sniffing dogs for the police, and they give them like, or like a kidnapped girl, they'll find her sock and then give it to the dog and then be like, okay, go take that smell and run. Like, do we know how that works, or do we just know that process works, so we just do it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know
Yeah.
how this microphone works, but I know it works when I use it, so I just always keep it plugged in. Right? But I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you why. I couldn't tell you how a dog's brain smells things. I just know it works, so go ahead and find the girl, I guess.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, Yeah, they just sort of figured it out randomly. Like, yeah, I mean, he seems to be pretty good at this. So, yeah.
and it's funny to imagine like the first cop who's like these guys that all trained for their entire lives getting in fist fights in Boston or whatever in like early America, assuming that police started here. Like it's all these tough guys who could just go beat up criminals, and then one guy's like, I'm bringing my dog in today. I think he's gonna do a pretty good job. No, I swear to God, give him a sock. He's gonna find the girl. And they're all like, Ralph, what are you talking about? Anyway, you get the idea. Just the idea of a guy bringing his dog to work one day and he actually ends up being really good. It's like you laugh at the idea of Air Bud. Like, oh, really? A dog could play basketball? That's what they thought when you brought a drug-sniffing dog in. They were all like, this ain't gonna work. This guy's bringing his hound dog in.
Yeah, I'm telling you, watch him. Watch him do it. Do it now.
I swear to God, we were doing this all day yesterday. We was finding all these girls. now roll over. Yeah. Oh, sorry. They pooped on the floor of the department. Sorry, office. Yeah. Do they make the dogs? Do they have to walk their dogs? I mean, I'm sure they do, but that's funny to imagine, like a police dog having to go out for a walk.
Yeah, that is funny.
Sorry, boss. There's been a murder. Hang on, my dog's got to go to the bathroom real bad. Give me a minute here. My dog's got to go on a walk.
Yeah, it's 3:00. I should probably take him for a walk real quick. It's about that time of the day.
Yeah, he's been sniffing cocaine all day. He's pretty anxious. He's pretty riled up. I gotta take him on his run.
Yeah, he needs a street afterwards.
They just did that. I mean, this is so stupid. But imagining a dog like after work, you go to the bar after work to settle down. You just had to solve murders all day, and you're just smoking a cigarette and a beer, and then the dog's just next to you at the bar, like. We did a lot of good today. We solved a lot of crimes today for the people. And he just cheers at you with a big mug, and you flick him a treat. Oh man. It would be funny too. I mean, I guess they wear all the collar. I don't know. I mean, I could go on for this for a while, I guess. Which is, I'm sure it's been done 1,000 times, the idea of a dog at work. But like, it's just funny to imagine like a dog in a police costume. Like not even an outfit, but like for Halloween, like you could dress your dog up as a cop, but imagining like the dog going into work like with a full suit on and just like, I'm ready to
now I wish they did that. I really wish police dogs, they came like a police outfit. Oh my God, that would be...
He's got little handcuffs.
Oh man. Yeah, how have they never thought about that? That would be hilarious. Yeah, just give him a normal policeman's outfit.
And like big aviators. He's got big aviators on him, like a big one of those octagon hats. Yeah. Employee of the month this week yet again is what's the dog's name? I don't know.
It's Rex.
It's Rex. Employee of the month is Rex again. Everybody. He solved 40,000 murders, and next second place was Matthew with 2 solved murders. And Matthew's just like, shit, I got beat by a dog again. And then it becomes a whole movie of this guy. It's a children's movie. He's jealous of his police dog that's solving more crimes than him, so he has to try to do something. And then by the end, they become best friends and partners, and they solve a crime together. So there's your free movie idea, Hollywood. A dog cop. And
Yeah,
you thought
get that
Air Bud was
script written
stupid, but like I was saying, people thought Air Bud was stupid. I'm like, it's not only is it not stupid, it's literally happening, and it's not basketball. It's solving crimes and murders. There's a dog. It's more impressive to me that there's a police officer dog than a dog playing basketball. Like, basketball is fun.
Yeah.
We kind of screw around and get drunk and shoot hoops. Like, okay, whatever. I don't care if a dog gets involved. But now all of a sudden, like, your daughter's been murdered, and the lead officer on the case is a dog.
Yeah, people will say, I mean, a dog playing basketball, that's unheard of. Is it? Dogs solve murder mysteries. That's way
Have you
more
seen
unheard of.
Scooby-Doo? People are like, Scooby-Doo, oh, you mean a talking dog? I'm like, you're hung up on the talking part? This dog's solving murders.
It's based
Oh,
on a
but
true
he's eating
story.
big sandwiches, so I can't take it seriously. Yeah, no, I know. You're just like, yeah, but that Shaggy's an idiot. I'm like, this happens every day. I mean, this is a real thing that happens every day. I'm sure Scooby-Doo was like satirical when it came out. It was probably right around when they started introducing dogs to the police force, and everyone in Hollywood was like, could you believe what those pigs down at the station are doing? They're getting dogs involved. That'd be like, what are they going to do next, talk? What, are they going to drive around in a mystery machine? And then someone's like, write that down, actually. This would be funny. Let's make fun of how stupid the idea of a dog solving crime is. And now it's just in the zeitgeist, I guess. Oh, man. That is funny. Yeah, I don't know. Dogs are crazy.
Yeah, dogs are something else, man.
But not to go on this for another half an hour, but like, just how we said earlier, like, how do we even figure these things out? Because, like, is there something cats can do? Or are cats actually useless? But, like, it would be funny if cats had, like, an insane sense of hearing or something, and then now you have, like, my point is, the idea of a police officer cat, now that's funny. If you thought a dog was funny, imagine a little feline running around solving crimes, like with its little strut, like walking down alleyways and stuff, smoking a cigarette. Like, but for some reason, police are like, no, we're not crazy. I'm like, yeah, literally have a dog solving crimes.
A cat solving mysteries, really. Let's not go too far here.
You know how much of a pain in the ass it was to convince everyone that dogs could actually do this?
Yeah, I'm not going through this again. It was hard enough to convince them my dog could do this. Not going to try the cat now.
Oh my god, now dogs. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we should have made this the dog episode because we've struck gold here. I could go on for hours about how great the idea of a dog coming in to work late. Like, if you have to, because I think the guy, like the bomb sniffing dogs or whatever, like I think that's their like personal dog. I mean, you don't get it at the pound or whatever, but like that officer's in charge of that dog then. So like if that guy is late for work and they chew toy him out, if they have to go in to see your sergeant and he's like, Nelson, you've been late for work 10 times today. What's going on? And he's like, sorry, I'm going through a divorce. All right, send your partner in. And so then he leaves and the dog has to come in and then he's like, now you've been late with Nelson for the last 10 times. And the dog just has to sit there like, I know. Him and his lady are going through a lot. Like, do you yell at the dog for being late? Does the dog get paid? What do you pay the dog?
In treats. Treats.
That's the only thing you could do is pay him in treats and just kind of hope, hey, I'll give Nelson a couple $100 if he promises to use it on chew toys. Like, that's about it. But I mean,
yeah, the police are just exploiting labor. They don't have to pay the dogs, and they're doing incredible work, and it just costs them dog treats to do it.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's the whole point. Like, it's crazy that we're even using dogs. So it's proof that these dogs are better than people. Like, when it comes to their ability to solve these crimes. And you know what? They're making no money. They're just getting a begging strip, and we're moving on. So I want to see the politician. Like, this might sound like a big conspiracy here, but just you wait, folks, when you see the next president trying to say, you know, I have no reason behind this, but I think the idea of an all-dog police force would be a good idea. Then you'll know something crazy is happening. But it's happening. It's gonna happen. I'm telling you now. The all-dog police force is the future of mystery solving.
Book it right now.
And why is it always German Shepherds? You never see a little freaking a little chow.
Yeah, why is it always German
a
Shepherds?
dog like a dog like Bella, like solving crimes? May she rest.
She could have.
Yeah, she absolutely. What is her? Like, maybe her sense of smell is not as good as a German Shepherd, but I'm sure it's better than mine. But the police are just the same thing. They're just like, no one would take us seriously if we had a little white speck of dust running around. It's like, that's crazy. That's where you draw the line. You have a dog in sunglasses drinking at a bar here, but for some reason you're like, no, but that dog's cool. I mean, that's a cool dog.
I mean, look at it. Yeah, German Shepherds just look the part. That must be why. They have to look the part. Otherwise, it would be too insane for people to believe.
You just have a wiener dog solving crimes, but like wiener
dog. Yeah, wiener dogs must hate German Shepherds. Yeah, they're thinking like, we can do all of that stuff, but we just don't look the part. That's probably
maybe the German Shepherd. Like, are we what are the odds that the German Shepherd is genetically superior and looks the coolest? Like, there's no way that he's the best at sniffing stuff. Maybe it is. I'm making this up as we go, but there's probably a dog out there that can smell better, but maybe it's not cool, and that's a shame.
I totally agree. There's definitely a dog out there. Yeah.
If people
should be doing the job.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying this. I'm just saying there are people out there that have a problem with like, what's the word? Forced diversity or whatever, where it's like people are saying like, oh, we're hiring because of these practices, blah, blah, blah. If you have a problem with that, I better see you at the next anti-police rally getting mad at the dogs. Because they're just hiring German Shepherds because they look cool. And they're not even paying them. Sorry.
I mean, it's time to make a change.
Not to get political, but yeah, it is time to make a change. I think there should be more little white dogs in the police force. And if you think that's a silly idea, have you seen a German Shepherd drinking at a bar, wearing a necktie to work? That's not crazy to you? Blue's Clues. That's another show where they solve mysteries. With a dog. I mean, there's obviously this is rife for picking apart, and only children's shows seem to do it. Let's time to get
And guess what? Blue,
adults involved.
yeah, Blue is not a German Shepherd. So there you go. It's not unheard of.
Yeah, what kind of dog is Blue, by the way? I need to know that if I want to take it seriously.
Get that dog in the police force. I mean, yeah, why has that never been brought up? Bring that up at the
I know.
meeting.
Well,
yeah, you ever seen Blue's Clues? What kind of dog is that? We should probably get in on that. It seems to be working.
what kind of dog? Yeah, there's this blue dog. This is Clifford. He's huge. He would be perfect for putting out fires and whatnot. Yeah. We need to get a dog like Clifford.
Yeah, what kind of dog is that? That would be real helpful. Yeah, I didn't think about Clifford.
yeah, Scooby-Doo, Clifford, Blue's Clues. Well, yeah, why is it just children's movies? Apparently, it's only for kids to have a crime-solving dog.
I guess so.
Get adults in on this. Adults, the people making shows in Hollywood go, no adult would ever buy this. I'm like, it is literally happening right now, and no one is talking about it. There's literally dogs as police. So yeah, like I said, not to get political, but there's people out there fighting like defund the police, and then there's people on the other side going like, no, it's the most important job. It's like, if you believe that, how do you not acknowledge that there's dogs?
Like, there's dogs doing that
job. a dog could do the job. I mean, maybe we should defund them. We defund them all the way down to just treats, and then we get that dog police force I was talking about earlier. But seriously, a guy at a meeting just being like, what kind of... I was watching this Blue's Clues. He's got no kids or anything. I was watching Blue's Clues the other day. What kind of dog is that? But then, so they hire...
I mean, has anyone brought this up yet? Have you seen the show?
But they track her down, and she just does what she does in the show. Like, she doesn't work like Scooby-Doo where he'll help out. She'll just find the clue and then make you figure it out on your own, which I'm sure after a while will get very annoying. It's like, quit putting your paw prints on stuff. Just tell me where she is. I don't want to have to go to the thinking chair every single day to figure out where the murderer is. It's like the Riddler. Oh my
man,
God.
that's funny.
So that annoys me. So that's that might be all I got. That might be all I got. I don't even know how we got there, to be completely honest. It'll be fun to rewatch this and go, that's where we figured out the whole dog thing. But yeah, so there's just a couple things, everybody at home, that bother. Unless you have anything else. Did you have anything else on your list, Colin? I apologize.
That's all I had.
Well, thank you. That was our list of things that annoyed us, and then it quickly became twice as long about us talking about dogs and how goofy they are. But thank you, Colin. That puts a neat little bow on everything I was talking about last week. And yeah, if you people at home think there's anything confusing out there that everyone's just kind of seemingly going along with, even though it doesn't actually make any sense, comment below. And if this video is 10 years old and you're going back and rewatching the history of this show, still comment. I'll check it out, unless I'm dead. But thank you, Colin, for joining. You did an excellent job, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Everybody, we'll see you next week.
See you later.